Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us. Manifest Tool Day, Quest
Thank you for
Explorer.
hosting us. All
So,
right.
tell us a little bit more about Quest Explorer. Who's been on the team? What's the progress? What are we looking at? Take
We're
us away,
starting
please.
with this. Oh, yeah, going. It started with Paco. He was once active in Metagame and then he disappeared. And then other people picked it up, fortunately, and got it across the finish line. I will share my screen. So, for those who haven't been here before, this is the Metagames community dashboard. And it shows like what kind of the latest content, the podcast, what's on the YouTube channel, your XP calendar, stuff like that. And just to give a quick shill of the dashboard, like it's cool. You can move things around. It was built by this cool guy Vid that's also here. And the idea is that other people will be building their own widgets and custom Web3 integrations to make it more useful for what they want to use the dashboard for. So this is just the first iteration. But yeah, going on. So in Metagame, you had the chance to see the My Meta profiles, which was the first product that we built. And then you had, okay, you open the website, you scroll down, you like the idea, and then you decide to make a profile. And then after that, the quests were actually in Notion, which is not a great user experience to have the questing system in. So we built this little thing. Take this test quest. Let's do another test quest. New quest. Hello, test quest. Little demo thingy. Link. You can specify whether it's a personal quest, so it can be, so it's not for a project, but something that you want done for yourself. Whether it's a recurring quest or whether it's a unique quest. So recurring quest, we have things like uh, sharing one of the articles that we have written, or anything that can be completed by many people many times. So like if you set it to recurring, then you also need to set a cooldown. So this is cool for having things that would be useful for people from the community to do on a regular basis. And then here, if your project is a part of Metagame, you select it here. You select what kind of skills you need for completing the quest and what kind of roles are required. And let's say it's just like this. You create a quest. Quest is created. And then you can be the same person that completes the quest, or somebody else comes here and claims this quest. What did you do? I completed it, I promise. And you share a link. So this will need a few more fields, but this is just the first version. So let's no, lol, going on. Claiming to complete the quest, and then with this quest here, you can see, okay, this person proposing that they have completed the quest. And then if you like this solution, you click accept submission. Here you want to accept this submission? I do. And then I'm not sure if I shared just the window or the full screen. Are you seeing this as well? No, you are not. So I will just gonna change this real quick. So in Metagame, you're using a thing called SourceCred, which is used for tracking contributions to Metagame. And then whenever somebody does something useful, there's this channel that's called Did a Thing, where people post what they did. And there's also this channel where you post when somebody else does something cool or you want them to be recognized. So whenever somebody does something here, you click an emoji, and this generates XP, and then based on the XP that's generated, they get rewarded in tokens. So what happened when the quest was completed is that this little metagame bot decided to bridge the quest completion over here. So now people can see, okay, Pete has completed this quest, and we can give him emoji so he can actually get rewarded. So that's our weird system of rewarding contributions. There's no like fixed payments, at least not yet. And what we recognized that besides this normal questing system, we wanted to have these different paths. So like a builder's path or a designer's path. So when you start joining Metagame, you don't go like straight from, if you have a profile, okay, now go build something. But there's this sort of introduction of like, okay, first you go read the documentation, then you go do something else, and then something else. And this sort of gently transitions us to the quest chains that Vid and Dan13 have been working on, which should come in handy for these sort of onboarding paths, not just for Metagame, but for other projects as well. So yeah, that's all I have to share. And yeah, now you can hear from Vid and Dan. Oh, and Betty joined as well. Nice. Stop sharing.
Okie dokie, I'll continue with. I'll just share the entire screen because I then prepared a couple of states, so we won't have to wait for confirmations of transactions. Couple of months ago, we attended a hackathon where we built a similar thing as we already have in Metagame, but we wanted to approach it in such a way that we would make it possible for various applications to integrate the system that we're building, the questing system, while also creating a platform for questing on its own. We first called it Dog Quest, but then we renamed it to Quest Chains. And we quickly go through it. Basically, we're building, like I said, a platform where questers and quest chain creators can both participate. Ones can create quests and quest chains. The others can then complete them. And by completing them, they are awarded with NFTs, which showcase their skills, which are then displayed in the profile gallery. So one can by continuously completing these questions accumulate the rewards, and by that build up their profile, which they can use to showcase their skills in various communities. We have set up a bunch of different roles. So some kind of hierarchy can be set up, which is mainly for maintenance reasons. We have owners and admins, which are basically the same, but the owners can decide whether they want to be the sole owner. All of these roles are bound to addresses, or if they want multiple owners for whatever reason, we just wanted to have the roles be as flexible as possible. Then we have editors who are able to, as the name says, edit the quests and quest chains, and reviewers who are basically able to only review the submissions for quests, meaning they can accept or reject them. Yeah, we have these questers, and these are the people who are trying to complete all the quests or quest chains. We have built it with Graph, IPFS, Next.js, and Chakra UI. So let's see the app itself. When we enter, we we can see the page with questions. We can search through them, but currently we just have to, because we have recently updated the contracts, which meant that the easiest thing to do would be just to wipe all the data clean. They then has prepared two questions. For example, this is the first one, where we just have one quest. If we are not either an admin or an owner or editor or a reviewer of this particular question, we're able to upload a proof, write a description, and upload a file. You can just upload it, submit it. Then we need to confirm the transaction, which uploads the file to IPFS. But maybe we shouldn't wait now. Let's continue because it will take a while. Then the person, whoever is an admin or an owner or a reviewer or an editor, gets a notification that they have a new submission for review. They can then review the submission by doing pretty much the same as the one who uploads a proof, by writing, okay, that's some good proof, and attaching a file if they want so, and accepting it, or saying that's shit and rejecting it, or whatever. Once all of the submissions have been accepted, the person who has submitted these proofs and got all of the proofs accepted can mint an NFT. Again, they have to, of course, confirm the transaction. And once the transaction has gone through, they can see their newly acquired NFT, which we call a badge, in their profile. I mean, most of the functionality is there. As you can see, the profiles don't look really nice yet. There's some stylistic work that still needs to be done, and some functionality is still not completely there. But most of the features we have completed. The next steps in our application. Oh wait, there's one more thing. I haven't shown you the creation process yet. So one can create a quest chain. Quest chain consists out of quests which are all encapsulated in this particular quest chain. We have made it so that they are not blocking each other, so it doesn't matter in which sequence you finish them. But we might as well create a new type of quest chain at one point, which has these sequential quests. Anyways, we can select the name of the quest chain. We can add admins, editors, and reviewers by adding an address. And then we have a description which supports Markdown. So once we create the question, I'm again not going to create it because we would have to wait for the transaction to be complete. But once we create it, once we access the creation screen, I mean the screen of the created question, if we are either an admin or an owner, just let me change to the account that is actually the admin or the owner. Here we can then add quests to it by selecting a name and writing a description, and then going through a transaction, and then the quest will appear here. We can also edit it, and the description also supports Markdown. So yeah, this is basically an app. I mean, in a nutshell, I have presented you all the functionality that we already have right now. The next step would be to enable an SDK or an API for either exporting of components or making available the calls to fetch the data or manipulate the same data in other applications. Because, for example, the need to create this stemmed out of me taking over the development of where Paco, who Peth mentioned before, left off with the questing system in Metagame. So once we implement the SDK or API, we will return back to Metagame and implement the questing system as we have built it in this platform in Metagames. But because of the styling, the visual aspect of this application that we have right here, compared to Metagame, which is not matching, we figured it would make most sense to just enable the transportation of the functionality the without the shell or like the visual aspect into any kind of application. And by making it as flexible as possible, we are aiming or trying to provide various different organizations a tool which they can use to create either courses or onboarding, also courses, but more directed towards DAOs. Um, I think this is pretty much it. Then have I forgot something?
You covered most of it. Looks good. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Did anything not make sense? Nice. Everything made sense.
Yeah, I like the UI. It looked really cool. I think it's come a long way. It's a great job. Thanks for showing us.
Thanks. This is mostly Betty and Dave's work.
Yeah, I really, really like it. So I like, yeah, I really like the UI and the color scheme, and the I can see a lot of attention to detail when it went into making this. It's really, really good. I like it.
Mm, do you think it's gonna be usable by? I mean, do you think that people will actually use it once all of the remaining mm, features are implemented? Do you see it being used?
I don't see why not. I mean, I'll definitely give it. I'll definitely try it once I can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna use it. We are gonna use it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, well,
So
Metagame's gonna be the first one, no matter what.
there's a question. Can anyone make a quest, or do you have to be approved or added to a list to make quests?
Anyone can log in with their wallet, connect with their wallet, and create a quest as long as they have sufficient funds. We have enabled so far the XDAI, Ringbee, and Mumbai network. I think these are the three that are enabled, and it's pretty cheap to create a quest. But yeah, most of the transactions or actions, like editing, adding a quest, reviewing, and yeah, pretty much anything, costs something because everything is then stored on chain, which means that it's decentralized, but at the same time, it's a bit slow compared to how it would be if we used a centralized storage system. But I think it's more about the idea, and at the end, it's not that big of a difference waiting for that transaction to be complete. Yeah, so anyone can join in and create the quests. Then you unmuted yourself, but it seems like you're not saying anything.
Yeah, just to add to what Wade said, anybody can create a quest chain, but then once you create a question, you can set roles to the members of your DAO or the group, the community you represent, and those people can add quests, edit them, and review submissions, etc. But yeah, not anybody can come and add quests to the existing quest chain. Only the people who have permissions to do so would be able to.
Is there anything left? Otherwise, I think I'm done with the presentation.
Okay. Yeah. Keith, Dan, do you have anything left?
Not really. No.
Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for showing us the questing platform.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for hosting us.
Thank you.
So.